Today's episode is brought to you with the help of our sponsor.
Dog butter is healthy peanut butter for your dog with minimal ingredients and no additives. None of the harmful ingredients that could be found in human peanut butter. We have supplements inside some of our formulas, such as a joint formula, probiotics, pumpkin for digestion. Every purchase supports rescue dogs. We donate a portion of our sales every month to different dog rescues across the country. Dog butter by Paw Power Nutrition.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Pitbulls, Parolees, and a Producer. My name is Billy Cooper. I'm the executive producer and showrunner for Pitbulls and Parolees. I am joined, as always, by Miss Tia Torres, owner-operator, Villalobos Rescue Center, kidnapping victim.
Now you're going to scare everybody. Being held hostage by my dogs. How about that?
Sure. And, and you were on a TV show for a little while.
Yes.
Yes. By no fault of your own.
By no fault of my own.
Yes. How about that? On a TV show by no fault of her own, Tia Torres.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll go with that from now on. Maybe for season 4. We'll see what happens. Anyway, we are almost through this long road trip to Louisiana. This is the 11th episode of the 3rd season. So we have just one more to go after this one. We are very close to leaving California and arriving here in Louisiana. So this is your spoiler warning. If you have not seen episode 11 of season 3, you can go over to Discovery Plus, check it out, come on back, listen, watch with us.
Oh, do I have to wear these?
No. I mean, you can hear me, right?
Huh?
You can hear me.
It was just until
Yeah.
God. I don't know how you guys wear these. Okay.
Okay.
Much better.
Okay. I'm
Here I am.
I'm wearing them.
Okay.
You're not. We're good.
Okay.
That's fine.
You look professional. I don't.
Yeah. I'm going to try. You look professional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
Right. Okay. Speaking of professional, we do have a sponsor. We are professional.
Mm-hmm.
Our sponsor, for those of you who do not know, is a lovely company called Paw Power Nutrition. They make something called dog butter. It is a peanut butter for dogs. Does not contain xylitol, which is very harmful for dogs. It comes in 4 flavors. I'm not naming them because I've done that already.
Okay. But there's 4 flavors.
There are 4 flavors. Could I do it from memory? Let's see if I can. Wait, hold on. Okay, this is original.
Uh-huh.
Berry biotic.
Mm-hmm.
Pumpkin puppers.
Puppers or puppers?
Puppers.
Puppers. Okay.
Puppers, like dog pupper.
Okay.
Pupper. Wait.
Something else with berry.
Berry biotic? I said that.
Don't look at me.
I
I only remember the pumpkin part.
Anyway, it's really great. Wonderful for dogs. If your dog's a big fan of peanut butter, like all dogs are.
Yeah. We
really
use
good.
it a lot. We
use it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It is a wonderful product. And because for all of our followers and subscribers out there is a promo code for all of you. You just use the code VRC10 at checkout to get 10% off of your order.
Yeah.
And if you do not have a dog or you would like to donate some peanut butter, Villalobos would be more than happy to take some.
We use it a lot.
Use it a lot on the dogs. So enjoy. So statistics for this episode. This episode is titled this is not one of our best titles. Don't blow it. That was the episode title. Don't blow it.
I didn't name. You talked to the network or whoever. I don't.
No, I know. Sometimes I did have a hand in naming these episodes. This one I will not take credit for.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't even know we had names for episodes until.
Well, it's what you saw when you look at it on the guide and DirecTV or Spectrum or wherever you look, get over.
I understand.
Okay. Originally aired in February 4th of 2012. I do have a long description and a short description.
We'll go with the short one.
Short description. Here we go. Okay. A parolee must be careful not to squander his opportunity for redemption. A potential adopter falls for a dog that was rescued in Mississippi.
Okay, that doesn't give me any clues. We'll talk.
Okay. So featured stories in this episode. So this episode was actually a particularly, I felt like, was a great parolee episode. This sort of landed lots of themes and lots of things about the parolee experience, especially with, do you remember Parolee Brian?
Nope. I keep telling everybody, I can tell you every dog, but human names, I don't know.
So when you met Parolee Brian earlier in this season, you asked him how many kids he had, and he had remember he had 9 kids and 4 baby mamas.
I vaguely remember.
Yeah, and
I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. No pun intended.
But Brian, it's no wonder you didn't really remember him. Brian was not the best employee. He was not what you call a model parolee for you. He started to slack off, went missing quite a bit, and actually wound up violating and went back to jail.
I'm going to check my Facebook, or I'm going to call my girlfriend, or I'm going to text while I'm in a kennel, or trying to feed a dog. I'm going to have the phone in my ear. That's not what we're about here.
Where the you been?
My parole officer called me and said that you need to come in. They put a warrant out for my arrest. Some woman accused me of strangling her around the neck.
And actually, in this particular episode, we broke one of our own production rules, which was very sort of interesting. So we always had a rule for production where our cameras did not go where you guys were not.
Okay.
So, for instance, when you go to a home check, you guys arrive at the home check, everyone always criticized. We used to get criticisms from the network and people in the higher echelons that we would be filming the back of your head. And it's like, why couldn't the camera be inside when everybody arrived and you see the front of their face? It's like, well, we're making a documentary.
Yes, exactly.
So the documentary series, cameras can't go ahead of people.
Right.
That
makes sense.
It breaks the breaks the wall, breaks the myth. You're like, oh, it's a set-up TV show.
Right.
Anytime for those of you at home.
Oh no, I learned that after we started filming. What we do is real.
Yes.
And then when I started watching like other reality shows that I love, I'm like, oh, it's fake because he's discovering a long lost extinct animal, but the camera was there first.
Yeah. He comes extinct animal. He comes trudging up.
Yeah.
Cameras are waiting.
And the cameras are waiting for him.
How did the camera know?
How did the camera know the animal was there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I know.
So we broke our own rule, but I think we had good reason for it. When Brian violated his parole, he had to turn himself in, and we filmed it.
I'm going to go in, let everything play its part. My kid's going to be mad at me. I'm back to the penitentiary again, but it's the law.
So we sent a camera to the parole office.
Really?
And stood outside in the we got him driving up and got the moment of him walking, saying goodbye to not one but two of his baby mamas that dropped him off.
Oh my God. And you guys talk shit about me.
And then he walked and turned himself in at parole.
Huh, how come I don't remember any of this?
Well, you weren't there.
I know, but
what was the last time? You've probably seen this episode.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I probably
haven't
watched every episode.
I would say you've watched every episode, but I mean, this episode was 2012. So we're talking, this episode aired 12 years ago.
Yeah.
More than 12 and a half years ago.
No.
Yeah. February 4th of 2012. It is now, it's 2023. Oh, yeah.
11 years ago.
11 years ago. Oh, okay. So my math is off. And no one ever said I was good at math.
Well.
I did not. I was not aware there was math on this exam.
According to your heritage, you should be good at math. You guys got that one right. I love the joke about that.
I'm happy to take the Jewish jokes.
Okay.
I'm happy to take them.
Hey,
I enjoy them.
I had a baby daddy that was Jewish.
And yes, Mariah's half Jew.
He was great, and he was great with money.
And great at math. And also a plumber.
What does that have to do with anything?
Nothing, but it was.
We're talking about money.
Going against type. He was working. John was working against type. Jews are not usually good with their hands.
Oh my God, I have no. This is going way off the rails. I'm just talking about money, okay?
I know, but I'm telling you, whatever. So whatever. Okay, fine. Moving on. Okay, so I don't even what was I talking about?
That's you. You went somewhere else.
Okay. Well, okay. Here, I'll transition. Transition's my middle name. We've learned this.
That was a whole other joke.
Yeah, a whole other joke.
Yeah.
That speaking of being good with money and careers, this episode also featured you giving the parolees the sort of what do you want to do when you grow up speech.
We really want to help you guys to get to where you want to go. I mean, I want this to be more than just you guys coming here to work with dogs. The dogs help you heal emotionally and spiritually. I want to help you heal, with success. What I've done is I've reached out to some businesses that I actually know personally. Ultimately, it is up to you guys to sell yourselves.
Which was quite, from a producer standpoint, this was one of the rare times as producers we were like, oh, we get to help. We get to do something. We're not just sort of, we always say, like, the producers on the show, we were the caboose at the end of the freight train. In this particular case, we were able to be, like, the second car. You know, we weren't like, driving this, but so when you sort of talked to all the guys and you found out Damien was interested in the restaurant business, DeShaun wanted to be,
Oh, that's right. I remember this.
yeah, an English, he wanted to write, he wanted to be a writer.
Right.
And Tyrone went to your friend Ben Lifted and learned how to be, Nightworks. Jason to be a mechanic, and then we sent Tyrone and Damien to learn how to be music at a music academy. So, it was one of those things where they said these things, and of course we were able to sort of like, as producers, you're like, all right, well, go find them an English class.
Right.
We scurried off, and we were like, we get to go produce something. It was very exciting for us. So yeah, I mean, obviously you weren't there when the guys all went to those things, but I do remember you watching those back, and I remember, like, you being sort of very happy that they all got to have those experiences. I mean, do you remember much about, what do you remember most about the guys?
I mean, the thing too, back then, I was still, even though I had been around the prison system for quite a while, it was still fairly new to where I was still like really, very hopeful, and I took things personal if if it didn't work out. Here we are a decade later, and I'm like, oh, he says he wants to be a chef. Bullshit. That's kind of how I get now. It's just like, so I've learned now that, I'll show you the door. I'll point you in the right direction. But after that, it's all on you.
Well, it's like Earl. You said to Earl, I remember you've said to Earl over the years, Earl, what do you want to be when you grow up? He's like, Mama, I'm good.
Yeah.
He has no career.
Yeah.
His career aspirations is to
be at Villalobos.
Yeah.
I know.
That's it.
I know. So
watch more dogs.
Yeah. Play with dogs.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yes.
That's okay. Mine isn't. I got other things I want to do.
Yes.
So, but yeah, do we hope that these guys always follow through with their plans? I mean, sure. No one wants to see them go back to prison. Yeah. I think a lot of people too are very misconstrued in their thoughts as far as, these guys that come out of prison, it depends on different things. How long they were in, what their previous life was like before prison. All that you have to put together and decide, what's the right plan for you. Yeah. And you have to look at each one of them individually. And you almost have to become like a personal life coach. You have to babysit these guys. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but you have to stay on them. Yeah. I always said that a lot of these guys that go to prison that do like double digits, like 10 years and up, they almost need to come out and go to like Convicts Anonymous because you become, you think like a convict. Oh. And so when you come out, you think, what's the quickest way for me to make money? Right. What's the hustle? Yeah. Yeah. So that's, it's very, it can be very draining trying to keep up with all these guys and trying to keep them on the right path. Yeah. And disappointing too, at the same time.
When Brian, as a producer, it was one of those things where.
And he has all those kids.
He had all those kids. Yeah. He was a smart dude, funny guy, but it was one of those things where we were like, this is, it's
sad because now that I've had a few years under my belt with this, is, in my opinion, the catalyst that really sends these guys back down the wrong path is substance abuse. That's what does it every time. So it's every time.
I think with Brian it was women.
Women don't get you in jail. You don't get put in jail for women.
Well, I think he was juggling too many of them. I think that was.
He doesn't put you back in. You don't get violated parole. But that's what he probably told you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's that and the lack of resources, to help them. So it's tough. It's really tough.
So very interesting though on that same topic. You were not here earlier. This is a first for our show here. You were not here earlier. You were busy letting your dogs out, and you're dealing with Villalobos stuff. And we were able to interview DeShawn. We got in touch with him.
Oh wow!
And so we, through Mariah's help, she was friends with him connected with him on Instagram. Connected Moser, nice job, Moser. Found DeShawn, and I was able to interview him. So we're going to show my interview with DeShawn right now. We'll be right back.
Cool.
Hey guys, this is interesting. We're doing a sort of first time that we're doing an interview outside of mine and Tia's banter. But Tia was busy with her dogs, and DeShawn has graced us with his presence. DeShawn also hard at work, had a very small window to come join us for the podcast. So DeShaun, thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
No, good to see you as well.
How long has it been? So wait, so we left. So Tia left in 2011? No, 2014.
2011, 2012.
Somewhere in there. I don't
I
even
believe
know. No, I
2011,
think
2012.
no, 2014. 2014 she moved here. So yeah. So anyway, it's been way too long.
Right.
We're all old. I'm still here, but you're not. you know.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so what do you remember? I mean, like, let's talk about that. What do you remember about sort of working for Tia, being on the show? Like just sort of, what do you remember most?
Handling and dealing with the dogs is what I remember most, but just the whole experience, because it was a transitional time in my life
Mm-hmm.
that, I was coming back home from a long little vacation, and it prepared me in a way that it gave me the skills to build my work ethic, and just to understand and know what a job is really about. And it helped me a lot in that aspect, and those are the things that I remember, the tools that it gave me, to succeed out here in society.
So the episode we're talking about today that Tia and I are going over, this is the episode when, remember, Tia asked you guys what you want to do with your life. She said, what do you want to be with you when you grow
Right.
up? And we sent you to Antelope Valley College, and you met with the English professor, and you
Right.
shared some of your poetry. Are you still doing I know, are you still doing poetry?
I am. I'm still doing it, but I haven't really engaged back deeply into it like I was at that point in time. I
Sure.
kind of like my range kind of switched over to photography, so to
Oh,
speak. And I
amazing.
actually went back to school, College of the Canyons, and got a couple of courses up under my belt for that.
That's amazing. So obviously you went and you met with this college professor, and then that after the show went away,
Right.
you then continued. That's amazing. You continued your education. That's so cool. And so
hmm
then so let's talk about the photography. What kind of photography are you doing these days? What is it exactly? Is it portraits? Is it artistic? What is it?
Well, first and foremost, my photography company is called Sean's Angel Photography, and yeah, we do it all really. From portraits to family portraits, kids photography, sports photography, pet photography. I just got a wide range. I'm open for anything. And I'm skilled at it as well.
That's amazing. And so how would people? Okay, so here's the chance, your opportunity to plug this. So how would everyone find you? Put up the website. What's the website address?
The website is www.shinesangelphotography.com, and my
And
Instagram is SA_photography and film.
And for everybody at home, it's up there right there. And DeShaun, you're still in Southern California, so you mainly service that sort of Southern California region, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay, so
But
anybody who's out,
open to travel, open to travel as well. But that's where I mainly service, though. Yes.
yeah. So then let's talk a little bit more about the show and your experience. I mean, like,
Okay.
because do you remember getting interviewed? Do you remember that day when you showed up with the three other guys and we did that big group interview, and then you interviewed Tia and you're like, yeah, I got a job, and it's like, wait, I got a TV show to follow me, and what was that like? What was that like?
Right.
For you?
That was amazing, man. Because like I said, it just gave me an opportunity. Kind of like fresh in my replacement back into society. So it gave me a huge opportunity, really, and I was just open for it, and I seen a chance to engage with other people, that was like kind of like similar from my background, and it was a good thing, man. I enjoyed myself. I learned a lot, and I appreciate the opportunities that Tia passed on to us.
And then remind me again. I think so. It was interesting. So we're talking about, this is the third season of the show when Tia was sort of planning on moving to New Orleans and all that sort of stuff. And and
Right.
there's that faithful shot at the end of the season when the bus is leaving, and and you're there, sort of like waving goodbye, like sort of don't have fun storming the castle. Now, didn't you stay
Right.
sort of on the property? Didn't you stay as like a caretaker for a little while longer just to make sure things were fine and whatnot?
I did. It was actually me and Colin. We stayed along for maybe, I believe it may be like 2 to 3 months.
Yeah.
And we kind of like made sure everything was good on the property, and just kind of like handled everything that needed to be handled on that end, as in preparation for you guys to come back and close it out.
I remember that. I remember hearing, oh, DeShaun stuck around, and there at one point you were talking about moving. You were like looking for opportunities. You were going to maybe move out here to Louisiana, and you were gonna continue the work, but it just sort of
Right.
you managed to find stuff locally, right? That was the thing.
I did, and then I had a little issue with my PO at the time, and he didn't really want to let me travel. He
Right.
was just totally against it. So
Yep.
he kind of like shut the doors on me on that end, and kind of like ruined my chances to move on with you guys.
Right. But you made a great life for yourself now. Any other? I think your day your day job, your sort of secret identity is obviously you're a photographer and your passionate photographer. But I can see you also have a
Right.
day job. You're delivering for Amazon. You're catching we're in your truck on your break.
Yes.
I gotta
Indeed,
give it to
yeah.
you, man. That's a tough job. I gotta, it's hard work,
Yeah,
especially,
it is.
how hot is it? It's 100 and something degrees, right? Just sitting, going to run
It
around.
is. It's very hot right now. It's very hot.
But I
But
will,
I got the AC blowing, so I'm all right.
but I will say, probably your training with
But
Villalobos has probably helped you on your route when you come in contact with dogs. You know how to sort of like, hey, calm down, I'm good, right? You're friendly.
right, exactly. It has helped with that aspect of it for sure.
Obviously, I wish Tia was here and whatever. But if there's anything you could say to Tia, that you'd want to say to her, because she will see this, what would you want to say to her? What message would you want to pass on, or what,
I just want to say, what's up, Tia? I missed you guys. I haven't seen or heard from you guys in a while. I hope you guys are doing well, and continue to do the great things that you've been doing, and making the difference that you have. And I appreciate the opportunity, and it's nothing but love and respect on my end. And I wish you guys I wish you guys well.
and right back at you, man. Deshaun, you were I remember back then, we had a rough time making the show, but we had a lot of balls that we were juggling and a lot of parolees and the kids and the dogs and everything, but you were nothing but a pleasure to work with. You made our lives as producers incredibly easy, and so that I will be forever grateful. So I appreciate it. Thank you
Thank you,
for coming
Billy.
on, man. I
Appreciate that.
appreciate this. This is so
No
great.
problem.
Stay well, stay healthy, keep working at it, and hopefully we'll get you some business, for your photo business.
Okay. Appreciate that, Billy. You guys have a good one, man, and thank you once
All right,
again.
thanks. All right, see you soon. Bye.
All right. See you soon. All right, bye-bye.
So there you go. Our first pre-recorded interview for the show.
Okay.
Look at us with the tech.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Yep.
We gave DeShaun a nice plug for his photography business. Very cool. So he's hanging in. He's, I don't know. I think I told you, but or maybe Mariah did. He wound up actually going back to school. Like he went and took college class. So we introduced him to college classes.
When we met DeShaun,
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that you knew
Yeah.
he was going to stay on the straight and narrow.
Yes.
There was no doubt in my mind
Yeah.
that he was going to do good.
Yes.
You just felt it.
Yeah.
He was a good guy. He was a really good guy.
He was a good dude. I remember for a minute he was trying to come out here.
Yeah, he was a good one.
Yeah. The other story in this episode was, if you remember obviously Lwanda. Remember the dog Lwanda?
Sure do.
Can we go in your yard and catch her? Once we finally caught her and took her to the vet, that's when we really learned how broken and abused she really was.
These are bite wounds.
Look puncture wounds to me.
That's what it looks like to me here.
And there's also 2 little BBs or something like that. That's probably what they are.
And Lwanda was the dog from Mississippi.
Sure do.
She came so Lwanda actually, there was a woman named Donna, and she had her dog that she brought, and it was a failed adoption. Remember, you probably don't remember because it never even made it to the home check, but you had gotten a call from Donna at the very sort of ninth. You were getting ready to load her up for a home check, and Donna had a dog, and she was watching her neighbor's dog. They got in a little bit of a scrape, and you're like, yeah, Lwanda's not the dog for, so.
It wasn't just a little squabble.
It was hardcore.
It was pretty bad. Yeah. Then I was okay, but Donna, of course, is distraught. But
sure. She's so nice.
The incident shook her up. After what Lwanda's been through, I told her too. I just said, I don't think we should send this little dog into that situation.
Lwanda got a home eventually, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember with who.
Yeah.
I remember Lwanda. Like, again, same old. I remember Lwanda.
Sure.
Don't remember the adopter.
Okay. It's bad on me. I feel like we maybe covered it on the show. I can't remember.
It doesn't. Like I said, I can tell you everything about Lwanda's rescue. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Bad on me for forgetting all this.
But I don't know. I know she got a home. I just don't know with who.
Yeah.
Sorry, adopters.
Sorry.
You do mean a lot to us. I just don't know your names. I just know the dogs' names.
Yes.
So.
All that is true. I mean, other than that, I mean, do you have any fun? This is sort of not fun, but like any other sort of, behind the scenes stories from, any of the Parolees. I mean, this was a Jake episode. Jake was in this, Rico, Mondo, all the guys. So this is the sort of last hurrah for the California Parolees, so is there anything, sort of memorable stories that,
I know that, as far as Rico, he made a huge transformation.
Yeah.
He really, really just did great. He came there as a really shitty little kid.
Yeah.
And he became the nicest young guy ever.
Yeah.
So he was good. I'm not, and again, I don't know where he's at to this day.
He's in Kentucky.
He's still in Kentucky?
Kentucky, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna try and get him.
Yeah,
we're trying to get in touch with season 4.
Hopefully,
we'll bring him
he
on.
turned to be a good, because he turned to be a good guy. He grew up.
Yeah.
And DeShaun, we knew was going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Jake, we've known since he was a kid because their family grew up with our family, and Jake. I mean, he finally settled down. He's always had a rebellious spirit about him.
Yes. It's the love of a good woman.
Yes, love of a good woman. Exactly. A woman with dogs.
Yes.
Mondo, I don't get into the details, but there was a parting of the ways that was not good.
No.
And I chose not to go public with it because for the sake of his family.
Yep.
But I sent him on his way.
Yes.
So
after returning, I mean, I will say, yes, we say it's the last hurrah of the California Parolees, but many of them make sort of venture out here.
Yeah, I mean, he did.
Louisiana,
he came, well, and that's what happened. He did. He came out with his family to work for us in Louisiana.
He came out. Damien came out. Jake came out.
Yeah.
Rico came out.
Right.
Like a lot of them.
So,
I mean, it was really DeShaun. I mean, we said, I jokingly said to him, DeShaun was the one left when you pulled away in the bus.
I remember
DeShaun was the guy
there.
sort of like waving goodbye.
I know,
so
that was actually sad.
And he was talking. He was telling me about his remember he and Colin stayed behind to watch over the property for a couple of days.
So all the Parolees came with us that we had except for DeShaun.
Except for DeShaun.
Yeah.
And Tyrone.
Yeah. Damien, Rico, Mondo, Jake.
Well, it took Mondo a minute. Like Mondo didn't come.
Right.
He came way later.
Family.
Yeah. But still.
But and then my son Mo was a holdout also. And then got into some trouble while he was still in California.
Right. But that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other story that we may never tell.
No. I'm going to skip the time machine moment. You don't like it.
No.
We're going to work on some other stuff for season 4. I think we're going to
some new material.
We're going to work. I think we need to talk about like the food aspects of once we moved to Louisiana, like food became a better, like we sort of ate better, sort of
kinds of things. Yeah.
I don't know. We got to workshop it. All right. So, okay. Here is a good Pester the producer from Eric in Tennessee. Whose idea was it to do the career day for the Parolees? Production or TS?
You answer it. They are asking you.
It was your idea.
I know that. I'm letting you answer it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no. Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, obviously we just talked about it, but it was sort of like, it was your idea to find out their aspirations and their goals. And then it became, okay, guys, they want to do this.
Right.
Go help them.
Right.
Yes, it was your idea, but we helped to execute it, which is, the best thing we can do. All right. That's episode 11. Any final thoughts?
I just want to get the hell out of California. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. Just get out of here, man. Hurry up.
All right. Well, there you go. With that, this has been another episode of Pipples, Parolees, and Producer. As always, the proceeds from this Rabid Reality program and the other shows we produce on the platform, 100% of the proceeds go right back to helping the dogs of Villalobos. So, like I always say, you join, they eat. Thanks, everybody. Oh, and this episode of Pipples and Parolees and a Producer was produced by Amanda Moser, who rock starred finding DeShawn, tracking him down. Nice job, Mose. And Candace Gobet. Thanks, Candace. And that's it.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
Toodaloo.